Dobro jutro, everyone. I've been asked to cover the main tax differences for a Slovenian business trading with a UK in the UK, particularly post Brexit, post 1st of January. As Barbara notes, this is more focused on services, but I will cover some of the rules on goods as well, because there has been changes there. And also, as Barbara mentioned, we have this trade and cooperation agreement, which has limited the customs tariffs on the movement of goods between the UK and the EU on UK and EU origin goods, which means that there's not an additional cost where the goods are moving between the two countries. What we have seen is that the freight costs and the admin has increased quite a lot, where goods are imported and exported between the two countries, which if anyone has been involved in that already will know. So primarily, I'm going to talk about services, and in the main, the good news actually is that for most B2B services between a Slovenian business and a UK business, actually, as a result of Brexit, there hasn't been any significant changes in terms of the VAT treatment and the corporation tax treatment. Where you have B2B services between Slovenia and the UK, the onus or the requirement to account for VAT is on the buyer, on the recipient company. So that would be on the UK company. So the Slovenian company still doesn't have to charge Slovenian VAT on most B2B services between Slovenia and the UK. And the UK company will account for VAT on their UK VAT return. So there's no requirement on most B2B services for a Slovenian business to register for VAT in the UK or to set up a company in the UK. Now, what I would say is that where that can change is if, for example, IT services have been mentioned. If the Slovenian company has a server in the UK and has people in the UK for a significant length of time who can make policy decisions of the company, then that position might change in terms of our corporate tax rules, because they may be seen to have a permanent establishment in the UK, which may bring some of the income that they generate in the UK within the UK corporation tax rules. But if there's people just going for meetings, for presentations, for summaries, then there really shouldn't be any requirement either to register for VAT or for any Slovenian company to have to pay UK corporation tax. Now, where there has been a change is services in relation to land. Now, for anyone who's familiar with the EU VAT directive, and I don't imagine anyone is, but there's an article in the EU VAT directive that talks about services in relation to land. And throughout the EU, the place that they're regarded as being supplied is where the land is actually situated. So this would include things like architect services, surveyor services, property management, and construction. And throughout Europe, where for example, an architect supplies services in another country in relation to a property in that country, there's a potential for them to VAT register in that country. Now, most countries in the EU have an opt-out to that, which, if it's in a B2B context, allows the company who's the recipient of the service to account for the VAT. So it doesn't require the supplier to register in every country where they're supplying these services. And the UK continues to adopt that rule for B2B land services. Where there has been a change is that if there's a Slovenian company or firm or business who are providing land services to either a UK individual in a private capacity or a company that's not established in the UK, they have to register for VAT in the UK. And because this is a land service, things like construction services, where there may be requirement to have a property site and possibly have staff there for a lengthy period of time, that might bring the Slovenian company within the realms of corporation tax in the UK, because they may be considered to have an establishment there. So this is an area, I think, that if there's any Slovenian business who's attending today who provides what we call these land services, then this is certainly something that's changed. That's certainly something where we would recommend that you take advice on. Another thing that's changed is that if a Slovenian company is supplying goods, but also within the contract, they're required to install these goods in the UK to fix them to the land or fix them to a building. The UK allows one-off contracts where the supplier doesn't have to register for VAT in the UK. However, if there's a degree of permanence in this, and the Slovenian company has undertaken a number of contracts, then they need to register for VAT in the UK now. Previously, when we were in the EU, there was a simplification process that allowed the UK company to account for the VAT on behalf of the Slovenian supplier. So this is another area that's changed. So any Slovenian company who is undertaking contracts to supply goods, but also to install these goods within the UK, again, we recommend take advice, because there may be VAT issues and there also may be corporation tax, UK corporation tax issues. We also have something in the UK called the construction industry scheme, which means that if you're a business in the UK that employs contractors, you have to register for this scheme to withhold tax to the contractors. So that's another area of tax that needs to be considered if you're a Slovenian business who is going to undertake these types of services with goods. Now, another area, and this is moving away from services slightly, but certainly it's an area that any Slovenian business needs to be wary of. We have a scheme that started on the 1st of January that if you're a non-UK supplier of goods to consumers in the UK online, and your supplies are less than £135, which would cover a lot of online internet trade, then you have to register for VAT in the UK and charge 20% VAT on most products in order to access the UK market. So the EU is adopting a very similar scheme from the 1st of July. The UK have brought this in earlier than their EU counterparts. So any Slovenian business that wants to sell goods to UK consumers needs to register for UK VAT and charge 20% VAT on most products to access the UK market. We also have a similar scheme for digital services. So anything that's capable of being downloaded over the internet. So things like music, movies, internet service provision. Even in one case, I've seen knitting patterns which are downloaded via PDF are considered to be digital services. So if you're a non-UK supplier of digital services to UK consumers, you need to register for VAT in the UK immediately before you can access the UK market. And as I said, most products would be subject to VAT at 20%. Now, in both of these cases, there's no requirement for the non-UK company to set up a company in the UK, or that their services and goods are brought into the scope of corporation tax in the UK, unless, as I said, there's servers in the UK or there's a significant presence in the UK where people are making decisions on the business. If that's not the case, then you're unlikely to be affected by the UK corporation tax rules. There are just a couple of other issues. Like the EU, we have what we call use and enjoyment provisions, where certain services, if they're between two businesses but in different countries, but the services are actually used and enjoyed in the UK, then the VAT laws in the UK bring them within the scope of UK tax. And there's very limited services that this is involving: letting and hire of goods, electronically supplied services, telecoms, repairs of goods under an insurance claim, and radio and broadcast and television broadcasting services. So, like the example I've given there, if a Slovenian company has a contract to provide any of these services with a non-UK company, but the services are actually used and enjoyed in the UK, and it might be a subsidiary company of the company the Slovenian company has a contract with, then the Slovenian company would have to register for VAT in the UK as a result of this. And like before, there isn't a requirement really to set up a UK company in these instances, but it is an option for the business. And just to sort of finish off, there's some information there on UK Companies House. And in most of these instances, even where a Slovenian business is required to register for VAT in the UK, they're not always required to set up a company in the UK, but that's completely within their choice to do so. And the UK companies are administered by UK Companies House, and I've given the link there to Companies House. We also have a corporation tax regime which applies to companies, so that applies to UK companies, but also foreign companies who set up within the UK. The UK corporation tax rate is 19%, and that will apply this year and next year until we have a budgetary change. The corporation tax liability is 9 months after the year end, the company's year end. And just to reiterate, this notion of being resident in the UK for corporation tax process, we would always recommend that you take advice on this, because it depends on a number of factors. As I mentioned, if there's a degree of permanency about a property site, so a construction project, for example, where there's servers for IT particularly, also where there's people being employed in the UK for a significant period of time, and particularly if there's people in the UK who are capable of making business decisions for that Slovenian business, then we would really recommend that you take advice on that, because you may be regarded as being resident for UK tax purposes, and some of the profits from that business may be subject to UK corporation tax. So that's all I have to say. If there's any questions, I've given our contact details there. I specialise in VAT and customs, and in our firm, which is based in Scotland, we cover all UK taxes, corporation tax, personal tax, entrepreneurial tax. So if there's any questions arising after this, please don't hesitate to contact us, and we will be able to help you.
Thank you very much, Ian. I think there are 3 questions in the chat. Do you see them? First one is books, from Mina Musinovic. Books, what are the arrangements from perspective of tax to sell on consignment? My Slovenian company would give me books on consignment to sell in the UK.
So books are actually zero rated for VAT in the UK. So there's no VAT charge on the sale of books in the UK. However, if a Slovenian company were the importer and owner of the goods when they were imported into the UK, and then will be selling those books, even though they're zero rated for VAT, they will still have to consider VAT registration. Now, there's an opt-out for any business that sells predominantly zero-rated products from VAT registration. However, I would probably recommend, given the costs of, if they're bringing goods in consignment, they would have to store those goods somewhere, so they will be incurring some costs which will be subject to UK VAT. So I think it probably is a good idea for that Slovenian business to register for VAT in the UK in order to import the goods, but also to sell them and to recover any VAT costs associated with the import and the sale of the goods in the UK.